Hi, this is Denise Matthew, and welcome to episode 44 of the Mandala of Life, 365 Days to Self-Discovery. Today we're moving away from abstract energy, away from listening to our body and the experiential energy of being in the now, to logical energy that talks about patterns and how we can correct them, or in some way make it better than before. This is the energy that ensures that we have stable patterns that we can count on, and also the energy that will call out any patterns that are no longer working as they should. This is where we can challenge authority, especially when that authority is upholding old and broken patterns. This is where we find the taste for what we like and also what we don't like. Collective energy is one of the most prevalent energies in the body graph, and also one that is dependent on sharing. Where abstract talks about experiences and looks at the past, logic looks at the future and how we can predict what will happen in the future based on a stable pattern. Society running smoothly and everything going as planned is only dependent on the weakest link, or when some sort of structure that we've based our life on is ready to collapse. Without the gate 18 telling us that there's something that needs to be corrected, the structures of our life can break down, which can eventually lead to chaos. The exact thing that nobody wants to have in their life. When we talk about the splenic gates where the gate 18 is found, we know that they all come with some level of intuition, instinct, and potential fear. And also that the spleen is an awareness center, which means that awareness comes in a quick moment or an instant pulse that gives us an answer in the now. And if we're not paying attention, it's easy enough to miss the message altogether. The intuition of the spleen can give us one opportunity to pick up on the message. So that's why it's important to hone in on the authentic energy and information that the spleen is giving us. As well as intuition and also having fear within it, the spleen tells us about our health and our wellness. Every one of the gates of the spleen have important messages to give us. And though the messages can be accessible, it takes time and energy to realize exactly what they're trying to tell us. But before we get into new content, let's quickly go over what we talked about in our last episode. In our last episode, we talked about the gate 46 and how it's called the love of the body. This is one of the love gates. It speaks to the concept that when we love and take care of our bodies and listen to the messages that we're getting from our bodies, we will naturally be in the flow of our lives, which can place us in the right place at the right time so that we can reap the rewards of life. The gate 46 is half of the channel 4629 and is the only abstract energy that is existential or in the now. It's about dropping fully into the experiences of life, and only after you've experienced the fullness of it do you really understand what it all meant for you. This is one of the energies that can bring us natural luck because it talks to the idea that our bodies can lead us to the places that we need to be. It can give us messages that are important for the trajectory of our lives. It says that our bodies are the true masters of our destiny. And if you want to find out more about the Gate 46, please check out episode 43 of the Mandala of Life. With that said, let's get into new content. And please don't forget to check out the other episodes of the Mandala of Life. The Gate 18 is half of the channel of judgment, the 1858. It's a projected energy, which means that in order for it to be received the best way possible, it needs to be invited out of us, or people need to acknowledge what we have to say. It's also the energy of what we would call criticism. While we all want criticism to be of a constructive nature where we can improve on things, it doesn't always mean that that's the case with the type of energy that can come from this channel. But having said that, it is an extremely important energy because it does point out the issues that are within patterns or within anything. It tells us when the authorities or the people who are making the rules or the people who are upholding the rules may be ignoring that things need to change, something needs to be shifted, that there's a weakness of some kind within the energy that is holding the structures of our lives and really society together. The collective or society in general depends on stability and things going as planned. And when they don't, that's when logic really needs to step in and try and figure out a pattern that will work so that everybody can get back online. We need to know when things are broken so that we can fix them. And as much as we'd like to fix everything, Some things just can't be fixed. And we also have to be aware of exactly when that happens as well. And this is the energy that will tell us when something is broken beyond repair, and we have to come up with something brand new. Nobody actually likes criticism, but we certainly like when things are not breaking down and when things are actually going as they're supposed to go. And that's exactly what this energy can do. The gate 18 is about the correction or discovering where the problems are and challenging the people who are either upholding the energy or the pattern, or the people who have the power to change it and to fix the pattern so it's more stable. The gate 58 is where we find the joy in having a perfect pattern, or we find the joy in having something work exactly as it's supposed to. This is where we find the zest for life because we can feel secure that things are stable all around us. And there's something special about anybody who has a full channel 1858 or any of the channels that connect the spleen to the root center defined. And what it says is that being active in your life is very important to maintain your health. But since we're talking about the gate 18 today, let's talk about the hanging gate 18. We know that we have differentiation in all our body graphs and that we're all different in some way, and that we have certain channels and certain gates to find and many that are undefined or open. But the one thing to remember is that we have all the energies of the body graphs. When it's undefined, the energy is more fluid and something that we get from other people. It's transient. It comes and it goes, and we can work with the energy as long as we have it, but understand that it's not our energy to keep. But when we have a defined center or gate or even a channel, we're talking about something that we're more aware of and something that we have a regular way of working with or feeling in our body graph. And it is our energy. So when we talk about the gate 18, it is an energy that is something that is very pivotal when we're young and is a place that we're very deeply imprinted, whether we have the gate 18 defined or not. This imprint comes from one of our parents, the one that we identify with the most. It's here where we learn the standards of our lives and the standards that we measure everybody and everything by as we move through our lives. Whatever our experience is a big marker for how we look at life and look at how the people within our lives interact with us and how they care for us or how they treat us in general. So as expected, it can be a place of pain. And if we have very high standards, a place where we're feeling disappointed that things are not going as well as we expect them to, where we're not getting the perfection that we really want in life. Correction that comes from this energy is about wanting to have satisfaction with having something fixed or having something work as close to perfection as could be possible. But we know that humanity and life on earth is not about being perfect. There is no potential to be perfect. There's only getting closer to being the best version of who we are or having the best version of our lives. But sometimes it's easy to get lost in the cycle of wanting everything to be perfect within this energy. This is also the place where we develop taste, a taste for something that we like and something that we don't like. And there's intuition within this energy as well. The intuition here is clairsentient, or a clear feeling, or an inner knowing that a pattern is not correct, or something just doesn't look or feel right. And sometimes it can be about things tasting wrong. It can also be about going into a room and feeling like the energy is not correct and there's something wrong with the energy. Sometimes when you have this energy, you can be in crowds and it can be overwhelming because there's a lot of different energies all around you. With an open spleen and a hanging gate 18, there could be potential for medical intuition and also reading the energy of people all around you and understanding what their health concerns are. This can also be the energy of being insatiable, always needing to correct something, to the point of never feeling like you have anything perfect or correct enough. And it can be looking for issues that aren't actually there. There's potential to like to have things neat, tidy, and in order. And for some people, cleaning can help a lot in that you feel that your energy can be directed into something that you can actually correct. The gate 18 is part of the stream of mastery, which means that it's important so that we can correct and improve whatever we've decided to master. Ra Uruhu said that the gate 18 is a place where we have drops of criticism that collect in the gate 48, and eventually it leads to a solution to something that needs to be corrected. The biggest key with this energy is because it's projected, is that it is deeply impactful and there's a lot of power to make things right. But it's all about being invited or people asking for your input so that they can improve something in their life. This can be the energy of a therapist or somebody who writes self-help books because they've learned how to work with their own criticisms and learn to externalize it in a way so that they can help people, as opposed to internalizing it and feeling like they're never going to be good enough. A while back, I did a full video on the splenic fears. You can watch the full video, but I'm also going to insert right here just the information from that particular video. So if it sounds familiar because you've already watched the fear gates of the spleen, that's because it is. But I felt it was important to insert it here so that you can have more information and not have to go to another video if you don't want to. When you have the gate 18 defined, no one judges you as much as you judge yourself. In fact, everyone does everything better than you. And if you want proof, all you need to do is open Instagram and see how inferior you are to everyone else. And no matter how much you try, you can't ever be as good as everybody else, so why bother? And even if you do try, you always come up to the same conclusion. You're lacking, you'll never be good enough, and you're never going to be perfect enough. Alternatively, you can criticize with the best of them. You can disrespect people in authority knowing that they're less than you. You can gossip and point out every issue and flaw that others have, or have an inflated sense of a superiority, because for a little while, it gives you that illusion of being powerful, and that little voice that screams in your head that you're not even close to good enough is drowned out. And you let someone else experience what you feel, and it feels good, until of course it doesn't, and then before you know it, you're back in that space of feeling bad about who you are. There could be a need to improve the latest makeup, the most current plastic surgery technique, the newest workout routine, the latest diet will finally give you what you need: perfection. Now you can stay on that treadmill for life, cycling through all the negative feelings that run through your mind, or you can do something else. You can see the truth that perfection is an illusion, and instead of criticizing yourself or others, you can do something different. Begin to see that everybody is unique, including you, and that by demanding quality and a high standard for yourself, you'll see that the belittling conversations you have with yourself are beneath you. In fact, you are much better than the negative things that you say about yourself or others, and if you choose, you can heal the wounds that have made you ignore your own positive qualities. And truly, if there's anyone who can do the work to become a better version of you, one who respects yourself enough not to compare who you are with anyone else, it's you. And when you turn the page and see the world with new eyes, maybe someday you'll share your story and your journey about how you decided to change your life. And instead of striving for perfection, you instead choose to be a version of yourself who can see all your imperfections. And in spite of all the things that seem pretty wrong, there's a lot that's right. And that your self-acceptance can finally lead you to the place where you can settle in and love yourself, flaws and all. When we see the importance and value of correction in our society and to the collective, and we understand that waiting and allowing our aura to speak for us and tell people that we have something important to share, then our criticism or our constructive energy for improvement can be recognized for the power and impact that it actually has. Because without correction, nothing would ever improve in life. And the mandala of life turns again, and we move into the energy of depth. This is the gate 48, the gate of the well, half of the channel of talent, where true mastery and talent can be achieved. Well, that's all for now, and I'll be back next week with episode 45, the gate 48, the gate of depth. Until then, take care, and I'll see you again soon.